Okay, I think we are all set. So welcome to one and all for this webinar. We normally here in Telerik India have been doing this .NET Ninja Developer series of webinars almost every Thursday in the same series. This is on reporting for ASP.NET applications with Telerik Reporting. So this is going to be more of a level 100. We want to introduce you to what Telerik Reporting is all about, what is the capability, and then we leave you there, and then maybe we'll come back in a future reporting webinar and then take a deep dive into any specific areas. As I announced earlier in the housekeeping, we have a giveaway in this webinar. Not only in this webinar, any of the webinars that you attend from Telerik India, we have a giveaway. 2 attendees will receive the .NET Ninja t-shirt. We pretty much pick up randomly from the list of registrants who made it to the webinar, and then we pick 2 names, and then we contact you over your email that you have provided because we need your address to ship your t-shirts. So the winner will be announced, not today. So that's the thing, we won't be announcing it today. Rather, we usually write a webinar recap, or what we call as blog posts, and in the blog post we're going to be putting up the slide decks, the video hosted on the YouTube, and then the question and answers that you might have asked us and then we were not able to answer it here, and then we will put the 2 winners' name in the blog post. So pretty much you would have to keep looking at the www.telerikhelper.net for a blog post coming up maybe Monday, and that will have the name of the winner. So that's a little bit of housekeeping, the webinar giveaway. And then if you have any questions, please keep logging it on the Q&A panel. I have my folks on standby. They will be looking at that. Whatever they can answer, they will immediately answer. But I will be answering it only at the end of the session when I take maybe 5 or 10 minutes off. So roadmap for today is pretty simple. As I said, we want to take this as a level 100 of Telerik Reporting. We want you to get a feel of what exactly is this product all about. So I'm going to be introducing you to what exactly is reporting, what is the importance of reporting, why should you go for reporting, and then we'll look at Telerik Reporting as a product. So it's very simple. Even if you don't understand what reporting is all about, we'll spend 5 to 10 minutes today to understand the reporting, the importance of it, why we should be using a reporting in a particular application and all the stuff. And then of course we will be looking at our product called Telerik Reporting. So that's fairly the simpler roadmap for today. A little bit of introduction. Who am I? My name is Lohit Jian. If you have been attending this series of webinars that we have been doing, so by now you will be familiar with my face. Otherwise, that's the photo that I have. I'm a Microsoft MVP and an MCP. I work as a developer evangelist for Telerik. I take care of the South Indian region. My official email ID is lohit.nagaraj@telerik.com. If you're on Twitter, you can tweet to me at the handle @Kashyapa, KASHYAPA. I blog at these 2 blog sites. Kashyapas.com is my personal blog where I usually write all about ASP.NET since I'm an ASP.NET MVP. And another place where I keep writing is TelerikHelper.net. So those of you who are having problem, I think pretty much you should check whether you got yourself muted in terms of the audio on your side, because I think I'm audible enough. So just let me know if you're not able to hear. I pumped up all my volumes here. So that's a brief introduction about myself. So before we start with okay, let me go ahead and then maybe I'll ask this poll. We wanted to just we wanted you know from your side what kind of reporting solution are you guys using. So let me first can anybody just comment if you're able to hear me clearly, because I have given the maximum of my mic, the volume max on my end. So are you guys able to hear me? Dhananjay or okay, thank you. Somebody was saying they cannot hear me. So Abhishek, Dhananjay, are you able to hear me clearly?
Hey Lohit, I'm able to hear you very clearly.
Okay, thank you. So somebody had a saying can you increase the volume? Maybe you got to check at your end. So before I wanted to ask a poll, but I will hold on till I introduce what exactly is reporting. So let's forget about any product or as such. So we'll just take a look at introduction to reporting. So what exactly is reporting by your sense? If I go and then ask anybody, they will have different definitions. So many people have many definitions, but the goal is only one, that is to generate reports. So that's what you use reporting solutions or reporting features in a particular application, that is to generate report, but that's the goal. But definition is different. People will say, oh, I use like this, or I use for this. So what exactly is reporting? Reporting is nothing but a layout based data. I generate something which is following a very particular layout and based on set of rules. And of course, in order to fill up that particular report, I pull data from a data source, and I will be applying some analytics to data, like I will do an aggregate, like a sum or an average, or all those things. But basically, if you look at what exactly is a report, is simple. A report is nothing but it's based out of layout. It has a header, it has a body, it has a footer. And then in order to fill that body, or the body section of the report, you will pull the data from somewhere, and that's a data source. Mind you, I'm not saying that this is pertaining to only one data source. That's why I've left it general. It's data pulled from a data source. Data source can be anything. And of course, you will do all the analytics. Many a times people get confused that reporting is a Word document, or reporting is an Excel document, or no, it's not at all that. It's one of the formats in which you view a report. And also I've seen people abusing the grid as a reporting. I've been in many of the calls, or I've seen many of the projects where people come back to and say, we have a reporting module. Okay, I'll say, what is that you're using to generate the report? Oh, we use the grid view. So grid view is not a reporting solution. When you say report, yes, it will be running into a number of pages, and then grid is not supposed to do that. Of course, if you put a grid view, you will have to do like paging, all the stuff. So maybe, and also it doesn't provide you the richness that you would require exactly when it comes to printing the report, correct? So grid is not a reporting solution, nor is reporting a flexible page designer. I've seen like people will just take a default.aspx or whatever the aspx pages, and then try to put the header and all those stuff, and then in the middle there's a grid view, and they say this is the grid solution. No, reporting is not a Word document or an Excel document. Reporting is not a grid or not a flexible page designer. Basically, what we understood here is, the only one goal of reporting solutions is to generate reports. All reports are based out of a layout, meaning there is an header, the body, and then a footer. We pull data from from some data source, and then we apply maybe some analytics like summing up, or the aggregates and all the stuff. So that's pretty much what reporting is all about. Now, why is it that reporting is important? Basically, why should you spend kind of some amount of time on understanding, okay, what is reporting, and then should I use it or not, or should it be there in my application or not? Basically, the businesses collect tons of information. They just generate loads and loads of data. Most of the information goes unused because they were not used. So how should you use it? Basically, that's where the reporting solution comes into picture. So the unused information delivers no value to business at all. I know we are generating a lot of data, but if the data is not used in the right way, or the data is not converted into a right information, it's of no use to the business. Reporting solutions tend to transform information into knowledge. I know we are generating loads of data. Let's take that, convert that into maybe an information. That information becomes a knowledge for somebody, like your manager pulling out timesheet data or anything, and then pictorially making that as a graph or chart or whatever it is. So what happens is he gets some knowledge out of it. He knows how people are working. He knows how people are burning their times. So basically, the reporting solutions take the data, transform it into information, transform that information to a knowledge, in any format. It may be a textual format, it may be a graphical format, or anything. Businesses that don't engage in this process, that is transform information to knowledge, they fail to maximize the effectiveness of their business. Of course, you won't know what is happening where. So unless you munch your data, you crunch your data, so you take it and then convert it into an information, so that higher up people can actually look at it and then get what is happening in one glance. It's of no use if you don't do that. So that's why reporting is a little bit important. So if you are in a customer-based project, a commercial project, of course it will have some amount of reporting. So that's why people will go for that, because I want to see what is happening. I want to transform data to knowledge. That is fine. We understood reporting. We understand the important, but why should I go for reporting, right? So that is another question. Why? Basically, to present and analyze the data, in a structured way. I may have 1 GB or 1 TB of data, but how do I present it in a in a way a human being can understand? How can I analyze that in a structured way? So that's where reporting comes in. Reports give you report present and can analyze your data in a structured way. For example, I can have a grouping, I can have sorting, I can have header, footer, I can have a tables, or I can have a cross-tab report, I can do calculation, I can do visualization. So reporting helps you to do all this stuff. Of course, there will be a tooling support too, meaning you get a good viewers, report viewers. For example, when I start showing you the Telerik reporting product, what we call as Telerik reporting, we have viewers for pretty much all technologies. So the tooling support is great in terms of when you use a reporting solution like Telerik reporting, because the tool will let you do so many things. Go to the first page or go to the last page. See the print preview right there, take a printout from right there, or export it to multiple formats. So everything. So there is a tooling support which comes with the reporting solution. Of course, one of the biggest thing why you need reporting is I want to quickly extract the data that I have into a Word document or into an Excel document, into a CSV, into a PDF. So the reporting solutions are meant to give you this, that is multiple output formats. So this is why you need reporting. So that's pretty much what we have seen so far. I hope I set the context right here. What is reporting, the importance of reporting, and then why reporting. So now, having understood that, now let's try to look at our product itself. We call it as Telerik Reporting. So reporting the Telerik Way is nothing but the product is a full-featured ad hoc reporting tool for .NET platform. When I say ad hoc, it's basically nothing but you can quickly generate the report without even writing a single line of code. It's all clicks and then you can do that. It's a lightweight solution for all, meaning cloud, web, desktop. You name the platform, we pretty much have. We support you in all this platform. One of the best we'll see in the demos that I can write the report only once, but use it in all the .NET technologies, that is ASP.NET Ajax, WPF, WinForms, Silverlight. I can just view the same report everywhere. So your effort in designing is only one. And it has a unique design surface within the Visual Studio. You get what you see is what you get designer, meaning what you saw there while designing is exactly what you see when the reports gets generated. So, and then we also have extensive data source support. We support cubes. We support relational databases. We support business objects. When I say business objects, nothing but your custom objects. We also support ORM, open access, our own ORM or an entity framework. We also support the XML and any of the ADO.NET data sources like SQL Analysis Service, SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, Access, OLADB, etc. So we support pretty much all these data sources. As when you use Telerik reporting, you can connect to any of these data sources. One of the unique features of Telerik is easy and intuitive wizards. Basically, when I say easy and intuitive wizard, that's basically when you want to generate a complex report, our wizards will be able to walk you through different sections of the report, and you can pretty much create it without writing code. Also, we have this conversion and upgrade wizard. When I say upgrade, it's basically, let's say you were in Q1 of 2013, and now Q2 2013 has released, so you want to upgrade from Q1 to Q2. So you just right-click and say upgrade. It will automatically detect what projects needs to be upgraded and to what queue it has to be upgraded, and it will do all the plumbing for you. Conversion wizard is interesting. We let you, of course, we know you might have done your investments on some other products, like we help you convert your reports which are done in Crystal reports, which are done in active reports, which are done in extra reports, and then we pretty much have a wizard which can be converted to Telerik reporting. So that's what we give you, when we say wizard. And then export to many formats: Word, PowerPoint, Excel, XPS, XAML, HTML, PDF, RTF, CSV, image. So you name it, we have the output, the format exporting to these formats available. as I said, report viewers for both Windows and web, WinForms, WebForms, WPF, Silverlight, ASP.NET, Ajax. So basically, you name it, we are there. We give you the the viewers for that. So where exactly does, so basically I put this slide as Telerik Reporting Fitment. So where exactly does it fit? Should I just use it anywhere? So basically let's try to see what exactly is reporting story in Telerik. The way you use it is the best practice that we define, or we tell our customers, is to define your reports in a class library, because we just work as a component. So just create a the class library, and then right click and say add new item, and then that's it. You have a report, and then you will get the, what you see is what you get, designer, and then you design it there and then consume it somewhere else. And you can reference this assembly in pretty much any of the .NET application. For Silverlight, basically you will need a report library living on the server side, because we need Silverlight runs on the client side, so you need a service which can plumb this. So we will tell you how to do that. But today's thing is all about .NET. We will ASP.NET will show you how easy it is to consume in ASP.NET. Pretty much we have viewers for all .NET client technologies. Now this is interesting. Take a look at this. As I said, if you create your report in a class library, let's call it as reports class library. Now here is the here is the thing that you can do with that. Let's assume you have a WinForms application. So that is an exe. So we have a report viewer for WinForms, the classical Windows forms. So that can consume this library and then show you the report. Not only that, we have a viewer for WPF application. So that's why I put it as wpfapp.exe. It's again a Windows-based exe. So within that, we have a report viewer, but the WPF app and then WinForm app can be looking into the same report and then can be rendering the same report. Not only that, let's assume you have a web form, basically a web application, and you have a web form.aspx page. So let's assume that that we give you a report viewer for that too. So the same report, that what you have written it once, can be run everywhere. And not only that, Silverlight. Basically for Silverlight we need to do an additional step, because Silverlight runs on the client side. So we need to create a WCF service, and then Silverlight will talk to this WCF service, and then that's how we'll plumb the data to that. But having said that, just take a look at, spend a moment here and then understand the scenario here. So let's assume your customer application is having a front-end public-facing web application, and then internally he is having maybe some department is having WPF, some department is having WinForm. You don't need to write 3 different reports. You just write one report, refer it in all these 3 projects, and then that's it. Your effort to create a report is only once, but can be viewed on multiple technologies. So that's what we give you in terms of reporting. I think that's all I have for in terms of the slide. So we're going to be going to the demo. Before that, I want to run a quick poll to understand how you guys are doing it. So you should have a poll coming up now. We just want to know what is the reporting solution you guys are using, Telerik reporting or Crystal reporting or SQL or any other. So just take a moment. I'll give you maybe a minute or 2 before till I see it's stopped. Variation is stopped. Okay, so I see a majority of the people, saying that they're using MS SQL reporting and are Crystal reporting. So I'll just give maybe 30 more seconds. If you have not logged your poll, go ahead, and then those of you who are answering on the Q&A panel, I would request you to just answer the poll, click the poll, and then say what you're using. So I'm going to be giving 10 more seconds, and then I'll stop the poll. Okay, I'm going to close the poll now. I see 39% is saying MS SQL reporting, 21% is Crystal reporting, 17% is Telerik reporting, which is good to know, and then 9% none, and 14% you're saying other things. So that's good. So that's pretty much gives us a kind of a ground as to what we should be talking about. So now let's get to the demo. As I said, that's the last slide I had for the thing. So now I'm going to pretty much go ahead and then start showing you demos now. In the interest of the time, what I have done is I've already created a class library. Okay, I think again I did the mistake, that is I haven't opened my Zoomit. Let me quickly open my Zoomit. Okay, so what I have is a Visual Studio 2012. So Telerik reporting works very well with 2010 or 2012. So, but I'm just using 2012 for this particular example. As you can see here, I have a C# class library here, and I have a ASP.NET web application. In the interest of the time, I've gone ahead and created that, but there's nothing. As you can see, there's only one default.aspx, and the class library has nothing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start creating a report, a simple report, which is most probably nobody in the world will create it, but I just want to prove something. So I'm going to just call this as dummy report. So, and as you can see here, when you go ahead and then say add new item, once you have installed Telerik reporting, you will get this project item, item template known as Telerik report. Currently I'm on Q2 2013 release, so that's why you see report Telerik report Q2 2013. Somebody is asking how to install that. All you need to do is go to telerik.com, and we have a reporting product page. Download that particular installation and then install it on your system, and then that's how you will see this particular item template coming up. When you select Visual C# reporting, you will see Telerik report coming up. It depends on what version you will have, but you will have this Telerik report item template. So I'm just going to take that, I'm naming it as a dummy report, and then I say add. As I said, this is the class library. What you're seeing now is actually a Telerik report wizard, but for now I'm going to cancel this. I'll come back to this, and then we'll do something with the Telerik report wizard. Somebody is asking, can we have it for free? No, unfortunately this is a paid or this is an enterprise license that we sell, so there's nothing, but you have a 30-day free trial. Whatever I'm doing, you can actually now at this moment go download Telerik reporting from telerik.com. It's a 30-day free trial, and then parallelly do whatever I'm doing. It will work. So I'm going to cancel out this wizard for now. It's asking, are you sure? I'll say yes. So what you see here is, remember I talked about the visuals within Visual Studio. This is the report designer. You do not have to go anywhere else, and it's pretty much similar to what you see is what you get. So if I go back to preview, it's pretty much will be blank. It's doing a solution build now. As I said, it's going to be blank. That's because we didn't put anything. So what you see here is two previews. One is this is actually a Windows preview, and then HTML preview is nothing but if you had run our reporting on a ASP.NET application, how will it render? So that's what it gives you. This is the HTML preview. Just the preview is nothing but the Windows. It's basically under the hood is using the Windows host to preview the report. So now when I come back to the designer itself, there are three things. Notice here when I mouse over on this portion, it says page header section. So basically our reporting has three things. One is, this is the page header, this is the body, this is the footer. So you can actually come back here and then click on anybody and then resize them. I can pretty much say like I want to do like this. So let's say my report has a bigger section, my footer is like this. So now what I can do is in the toolbox, our reporting solution would have already put some items. For example, as you can see here, I have a Telerik reporting Q2 2013, and then these are the items that I can get to work with the reporting itself. So now what I'm going to do is there is a text box control that we provide you here. As you can see, within the reporting we have this text box. So I will just drag it, drop it, and say this is a header. And I will do the same thing for here. I will say, hey, this is body or content. And then I will drag this text box and then drop it here. And then I will say this is the footer. Okay. Now another interesting thing we can do is we can actually build our own custom expression. So let me go ahead and then build a custom expression now. So what I'm trying to do is, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's at the bottom. So basically I will go ahead and then write a custom expression here. In order to write a custom expression, you can always say equals and say page number, and then I'll say off, and then I'll say page count. So basically what it will do is, 1 of 1, or basically the current page of total page number. So, and one more thing we can do is we can select, as you can see here, the header section is now selected because you see a blue border thing coming up. So that's selected now. After selecting, I will say right click, I'll do a right click, and then I'll select the style here. What you can see is this style. So pretty much I'll select this style, and then I'll say, hey, I want this text to be Usgae UI, and I want it to be bold, and let's say I want this to be 15 point, and then background I want to just put some color here just to showcase something. So I'll say this. So as you can see now, the header became 15 points, bold, and the background becomes some color. So similarly, we'll do the same thing for our we'll say copy style, paste style. So that's another thing that we give you. You can copy the style and then paste it on another elements, and then it takes it. But here what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the background from whatever is selected to maybe, let's say, this aqua. I'm a bad designer, so don't worry about that. So similarly, I will copy the style and then I'll paste it. And what I will do is on the style in the background, I will just select, let's say, a greenish. Now, as I said, I'm a very bad designer, so don't worry. So now we're pretty much done with the reports. Let's go and then try to preview this now. So if you see, this is the preview that you get, and notice the custom expression that I had written, 1 of 1. So page number, page count, these are all some of the global metadata that we support. And then pretty much if you see here, this is now showing you in terms of the windows. Now I can go and then see HTML preview too. Okay, so this was a simple thing for you to let you know, this is what we do. Now let's go and then build something really cool. We'll try to go ahead and then create one more report. So let me close this particular report. So now I'm going to go ahead and then say right click, add new item, and then reporting. I'll say let's go and then create a product list. I'm going to be connecting to Adventure Work. So I'm just creating, Ravi, you're asking for a difference between preview and HTML preview. Basically, preview is using a Windows host to preview the the report. So it's as if you have a Windows based application, and on top of that you have you use the Telerik report viewer, and then the report is getting rendered there. HTML preview is pretty much using IE under the hood, because it's as if you have an ASP.NET application, and then within that ASP.NET application you're rendering or you're using our report viewer, and the report is getting rendered. So that's the only difference there. So one is Windows host, another one is the IE host. So now we will work with the Telerik report wizard. As you can see, as soon as we add a new report, what it does is it pretty much says, hey, do you want to use the wizard? So this time I'm going to use this wizard. As you can see, this is asking for what do you want to do. I want to create a new report. So here, if you can see here, convert from existing reports. So it's able to bring up Crystal reports because I've already installed Crystal reports in my system. So it's able to see that, hey, he may have a Crystal report, so we may be able to convert that. So if you are already having Crystal reports and you want to convert that into Telerik report, you can always do this. Add a new report, but say convert from existing, select Crystal report, select the source here, and we will be able to convert that into Telerik reporting. At the moment, I'm going to be doing new report. So I said new. Now it's asking, okay, where should I pull the data from? Okay, I'm going to say I want to add a new data source. So I clicked on the add new data source. It's asking me what do you want to do. So I'm going to say SQL data source. I will say product list data source. I'm just giving a name. And then it's asking me, existing connection. So I'll say no, I'll do a new one, SQL client provider. I'll try to build one. So my server is a SQL server 2012 Express. It's named as by my name. And here I'm going to go and then select the Adventure Works. So I'm going to select Adventure Works, test the connection succeeded. I'll say okay, I'll say next. Now it's asking for, should I save the connection string? I'll say yes, go ahead and then save it as Adventure Works. Now it's going to say, okay, give me the select statement. Let's go ahead and then build a query builder. Let's use a query builder. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the product table and product inventory and then product photo and then product photo. So I just added some 4 tables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select name product number from the product table and then the quantity from the inventory and then thumbnail photo from this product photo. So I've taken product name, product number, product quantity. We should have a reorder point, so let me check. Reorder point. Yeah, there is a reorder point. So I just want to output the name, the product number, the reorder point, the quantity, the thumbnail photo. So I'll say, okay, I'm done with the query. So as you can see, the query got generated. So now I can go ahead and execute here. So if you see here, I have name, product number, quantity, reorder point, and then thumbnail coming up. So I'll say finish. So as you can see, it has created this particular data source and it sees that these are the columns. So I will say standard, and I will say I want to, basically there's nothing but, do you want to create a label? So because in the reporting world, you can actually create labels, take a printout, cut it out, and then that's a label. So you want to do that, or no, I want to do a standard reporting. Now what I will do is I'll pretty much select name, product number, quantity, reorder point, and then say these are my details. So I don't have grouping or I don't have anything other than that. Rather, I want to show them as a detail. So next, it's a stepped layout. Outline is nothing but, you can see this. Outline arranges items from left to right with each group's items going further to the right by the fixed offset. So basically mine is a step, meaning row by row. Adjust report items to fit the available space. Now I'm going to just pick up, we do give you some amount of, the theming. So I will select maybe the aspect theme. That's it. Now it's showing you a summary saying like, hey, this is what you have said me to do. So take a moment, go through this. It says you have given me the data source as telerik.reporting.sql data source. Report type is standard, layout type is stepped, style is aspect, report fields none, group fields none, detail fields are name, product number, quantity, reorder point, adjust to fit true, create summary is false. So it said this is a summary. Shall I go ahead and create this report now? I will say finish. Boom. The report is now created. What you see on my screen is actually completely laid out. Not only that, take a look at this. It has gone ahead and then created the date. It has gone ahead and then created the page number for us. So that's how easy it is. And not only that, now I can come, as you can see here, it just added the name of the report as this. I can come back here and then pretty much change this. I can say Adventure Works product catalog. So one is a page header, another one is a report header. So so the page header will repeat in each page. The report header will be only in the first page. So now that's it. I'm done with the product. So what I have to do now, just preview this. So let's go ahead and then click on preview. So now what it's doing is it's generating the report. It's connecting to the database, pulling the data. Boom. So we have a report. So, without doing anything, we have pretty much the report. As you can see here, I have it pretty much puts the date timestamp, and then also it puts the page number, everything without writing. Now I want to go, remember we selected the thumbnail photo. So I want to add that particular data too. So what can be done? Basically what we can do is we can select this detail, just drag it a little bit, and we'll say, okay, I want you to kind of do this too. Now one thing we can do is select the report. Notice this little area here. So this area, when you click, the whole report gets selected. So basically what I'm doing is I click on this, and then we have this menu item called Telerik and then reporting. So if you see here, we have a Telerik menu, and then we have the reporting menu, and then now I'm going to select Data Explorer. Once I go to Telerik reporting, we have a Data Explorer. So what you see here is, let me dock it to the right. No, not that one. Yeah, so now if you see here, it is actually showing all the fields that my data source contains. On the report itself, we just placed 4 columns, but now I want to add the thumbnail photo too. So I can just go ahead and then just drop it. If you see here in the details section, what it has done is it has gone ahead and then given me a picture box. It understands that the column is actually a binary, so it has gone ahead and then given me this. So I will pretty much copy this, and I'll paste this and resize them, and I say thumbnail. That's it. So let me. Okay, so I think we are pretty much done. So I'm just highlighting those couple of things there. So now, okay. So now what I can do is, what you just saw was, I just went to the Data Explorer and then dragged and dropped the thumbnail photo, and notice how our Data Explorer can actually tell you the data type of the column. ABC means this is a string, 123 means it's a numerical, whereas 1010 means it's a binary. So you can pretty much immediately make out what exactly are you looking at. Is it a binary, is it a string, it's a numeric, all those things. Now when I go and then do a preview, there you go. So you see thumbnail, the column coming up. So it says no image available because there's nothing for that particular item. So let me just scroll through. Yeah, as you can see here, we have the thumbnail coming up. This is the column that we added, the thumbnail photo of that particular product. So that's it. You don't have to do anything except drag and drop. That's how easy it is. Now let's quickly build one more type of, maybe I'll just show you one more type of a report. Let's say I want to build a parameter based report. So I'm going to go and then say a new item. I'll say this. I will say this is vendor report. So what I want to do is, basically I would like to, I'll do the same thing. I'll select this wizard, new project data source. I'll add a new data source, SQL data source. I will say vendor data source. It will ask me choose an existing connection. I already have AdventureWorks, so I will say yes, use the existing connection. But here what I will do is I will select vendor, and I will select vendor address. I will select address, and then I will select state province. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to select the vendor company name. Where is my vendor? Yeah, I'll select the vendor name, and pretty much from the address line 1, then postal code, city, postal code, and then from the state province, I will select state province ID. So we'll see how the data looks like. So that's it. So I've done that. So let's execute. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just creating my vendor reports. I have the vendor name, I have the address line 1 where they are, which city, postal code, and then the state and the province ID. So let's first go ahead and then quickly finish this. So it's a standard report. I want to show you how you can easily add parameters. So I will select everything, and then I'll say these go to the stepped. I'll again use aspect, and then I'll finish. Okay, it's gone here and there, so not a problem. That's not the point here. So if I now run the report, you can see, like, it's giving me pretty much it's pretty much listing out the name of the vendor, the city he lives in, postal code, state and province code, and then the address line. What if I want to actually have a parameter which can take the state province code and then display that particular vendor from that state, particular that state province? So what we need to do is go to the designer, select the report, and then right click and say properties. So here we have something known as report parameters. If you see here, we have something known as report parameters. So I'm going to be just adding a report parameter first. So what I will do is I'll say add report parameter. I will name this as state select. And I'll say let's for a demo purpose, I'll just give the data, the value as AZ. And I will say, okay, now we just created the report parameter, but that won't be affected. So what we need to do is, give me a second. I think my mouse just froze up on me. So now again, we need to go back to the properties, and we have something known as filter. So we need to add reporting filters. If you see here, we have this filter concept. So we just created the parameter. Now we're going to go ahead and then create a filter. So if you see here, this is the edit filter dialog. It says add, so we can give an expression here. So what I will do is I will say expression. So all I want to do is basically I want to use a trim function because the state code is actually I think in the AdventureWorks it has a lot of spaces. So I will say space, use this trim, and then I will say fields, and then I will say state province code. So that's all I'm doing now. So that's my expression, but what I want to do is that expression should be equal to, here is the parameter that I just created. Remember, we just created a parameter called as state select. So I've created that, and then it's taking that particular value. So I'm going to say this filter should be equivalent to this guy. Okay, now I'm done. So now when I just ran it. So now let me stop it. Yeah, it will throw up an error. So we are done. Let me save it, and then I'll do a preview now. What we should see is, now the filter will get affected, and then we'll see only 3. That is because we had created a parameter called as state select, gave it a value of AZ, that is Arizona, and we said, hey, report, you will have a filter now. That filter is nothing but show me anything, anywhere, any rows where state province code is equivalent to the parameter value. The parameter value is AZ, so it gave me 3. Well, this is not intuitive. The user does not know why is it giving me only 3 rows. So let's go ahead, and then now what we'll do is we'll pretty much go to the same report parameters, and we have something known as visible. If you see here, it says visible. So I will say yes, this is visible. So when I say visible, it will show just the name as a label on the screen. So instead of that, I will say enter state province code. Okay, so now when I go back and then save this and then preview this, notice on top we now have this concept called as parameter entry, and then we have a button which says preview. We have a button which says preview. So now if I go back here and then change AZ to MA, the query will be executed with a condition which says where state province code equal to MA. So now let me change this and then say maybe Washington. I want to see how many vendors are there in Washington. So it's going to go and then come back. But notice here that we are typing this, and what if we want to do a multiple value? Now I cannot give multiple values here. I can give only one value, which is maybe one time Arizona, another time Washington. So what if I want to do everything? So what we can do is the same concept, go to the report parameter and then tell that the report parameter is actually a multi-value thing. So if you see here, we have a concept called as multi-value, and then all we need to do is we need to say true. Once we do this multi-value true, there is another change we need to do. Remember, we added the filters. So we just have to go back to the filter. Since it's a multi-value now, it cannot be an equals. Like the operator here, it cannot be equals. We need to say this in this value, because the value will now come as a comma separated thing. So I will just say in, and I will say okay, that's it. Now let's go back, preview this. Notice that I had default set the value as AZ, so it's going to go and then execute for AZ. But now I can come back here and then say comma, I want to see Washington also, preview. So as you can see, both are coming. Not only that, if you see here, there is a drop down. I can come back here and then add an Illinois or whatever it is and then say preview. Now this is fine, but asking user to type it out, it's not that great of a user experience. So how come, and how about we go ahead and then pretty much get a drop down list which can actually show us all the the state province that are there, and the user can just check it, and then he just has to preview that. So let's do that quickly. So we'll go here and then say again properties, and we'll go to the report parameters. Notice that there is a concept that we have embedded known as available values. So this is nothing but what are the values available for that parameter. So now notice there is a data source. I'm going to go ahead and create a new data source. I will say add a new data source, and it's a SQL data source for me. So I will say this is state province or state data source. So it's asking me choose an existing connection. Yes, it is Adventure Works. Now what I will do is I'll use the same query builder, but instead I will select the state province. I will add it, and I will say I'll just select state province code, but I will say ltrim rtrim from this. I'll say okay, I'll say next, execute it. Notice that the state province has, it's some dummy data, so they have the province code as even numerics. Then it follows with all the 2-letter or 3-letter state province thing. So that's fine. So we created that. Now I need to tell what was the display member there. I think, what did we say? Hang on, I think I made a mistake. Let me come back. I need to figure out what is the name I gave. Okay, so let me again. I'll go to the report parameters again. I'll say available values, so it has not taken anything. So I'll just go here, create another data source now. So last time we didn't create because I canceled the whole thing. So I'll say state data source, and then I will say select Adventure Works, query builder, state province. So what I wanted to do was I will say this is ltrim rtrim, and then I wanted to call this as state so that it's easy. I don't want to do the complete thing. So now I'll say okay, I'll say next, I'll execute it. See that the column header is now state, so I'll say finish. So now it's been created. I will say the display member is state, the value member is state. Normally you may want to take the value member as the ID, display member as the text. So in this case, in this demo, I'm just saying state, both value and display is that. So now when I save this and then preview this, you will see that it automatically has been converted into a drop down, and no more the user doesn't have to, can you see this? I now have a drop down with the complete the states that are there in my table coming up as at the drop down, and then it neatly put the checkbox. So I can now go back here and then say show me anybody from the Arizona would have been already selected. So let's go ahead and then select maybe Washington, because I know Washington has some certain data. So now when I say preview, it does preview. So that's pretty much in the interest of the time, I have only 6 more minutes. I want to show the meat of the things now, how easy it is to bring it into ASP.NET. So this is what we did. We have already created a couple of reports. So now I already created a web application. I've gone ahead and then added reference to that report library. This is nothing but the class library where we have been so far creating 2 or 3 reports, and what I've done is I've added a reference to that. So this is a just a rat controls web application that I've created. I have the default.aspx. Okay, so now when you are in the default.aspx, you can pretty much go to your toolbox and search for reporting or search for report. You will see that in your toolbox now you have Telerik Reporting Q2 2013 and then report viewer control. So this is a report viewer control which is specifically for ASP.NET. It will automatically list you the ASP.NET. So all I have to do is just drag and drop. As you can see here, I have just dragged and dropped this particular control known as Telerik Report Viewer. Now, how do you display the report? Simple. Go to the code behind. If not is post back. So then what I want to do is this dot report viewer dot report source equals, remember, let's show a product list report now. So I will say product list. As you can see, I already have the namespace qualified, so it will say this. That's it. Under the hood, our reports, although you are able to see this designer, is nothing but a class file. So let me show you this. When I go to this product list report and right click and then say, you see this view code. So this is a C# class. There's nothing strange about it. It's a plain C# class. Of course, it's inheriting from our base things, that is a Telerik reporting.report. But this is a class file. You can do anything that you want now. You can add your own behaviors. You can actually at runtime generate a data source and then feed this report with a data source. You do not have to always go with the way I have shown you. With the interest of the time, I don't have another demo to show how we can do from code behind. But yes, you can just instantiate the report and then say, hey, reports data source is equal to any I collection or anything, and then it will just bind it. So now all I have done is I went to the code behind of the default.aspx. I said report viewer.report source is equal to product list, and that's it. So let me cross my fingers and then run the demo. So I'm just running this ASP.NET now. So the page is coming up, it's getting built, and then the page is coming up. What we should see is a report viewer in ASP.NET which will render the product list report that we just did. Okay, this is expected because I forgot to copy my connection strings. So let me go back. If you remember, we added a couple of connection strings here. So let me copy this guy and then put it into my web.config. So as I said, there was no connection string. So let me copy the whole stuff. So the error you saw was, it couldn't find the connection string. So just give me a second. I think I've pasted the connection string. Yeah, now let's go ahead and debug, start new instance. I see a lot of question asking about SSRS and Telerik reporting. What is the main difference? I'll just finish this demo and then I'll take up the Q&A because there's a very specific point that I want to make why this fits very well, or where does Telerik reporting fit. I'll just come back to that. This is coming with a small width and height because we didn't provide the right width and height. So let's go back to default.aspx. Where is my default? It's here. So I will just say width maybe 1000 px, height I will say 600. Let's see how this goes now. So now you can see the report viewer, as the width has increased, you will see a lot of the things coming up now. Notice the richness of this report viewer. It has IE like navigation back and forth, and also it has the full set of pagers. You can actually type, or you can use the next previous buttons. Not only that, look at this. I hope you can see the export formats that we pretty much have, any kind of things. Not only that, these exports can be done from the code too. You can pretty much do the same things from the code. You can export it, you can refresh it, and we also have the print preview, and then you can actually print it directly from here. So let me showcase printing. So I will say print, but instead of printing it to a printer, I will print it to a PDF file. Sandhya, you're asking, is it necessary to copy the connection string from class library to application? Well, the way web applications work is like, it just goes and looks at web.config. So if it doesn't find anything in the web.config, it will say, hey, the connection string is not found. So when you are kind of doing your development, it's okay. The report viewer will be looking at the app.config in your class library, but ultimately the whole DLL, it's not Telerik specific. It's how .NET works. If you have a class library which you're referencing in a particular project, the class libraries, app settings, everything needs to be in the caller configuration file. So that's how the .NET, pretty much the .NET works. So now what I'm doing is I'm just printing this. I'll say print me only the page 1, and I will print it to a PDF file. So now you will see that a PDF, the do PDF will come. I am using a free version known as do PDF. Some of you are asking, like, is it good to maintain the connection string in in what do you call the web.config? Well, there are other ways of handling that, the connection string altogether. That's not the context of this webinar. So now what I'm going to do is, this is just for the demo sake. I'm just saying, it's there, but you can pretty much, as I said, the whole data source can be done from the code behind. You don't have to do it the way I did it. I'm going to just put it to desktop. I will say Telerik report viewer.txt.pdf. I'll say okay. So it's going to do that, and now you should see a PDF opening on my system. Yep. So there you see. So I just printed to a PDF. Basically it's as good as in printing it to the things. So as you can see, it pretty much does whatever you have told it to print. So we have all this stuff in the report viewer itself. Not only that, let me go back, and you should see, like, the images coming up now. As you can see here, this was the thumbnail photo that we had added. So that's been pretty much, in a nutshell, how you can use our Telerik reporting in ASP.NET. The best practice of that we say is, keep creating your reports in a class library. It doesn't matter, whatever projects you use. For example, any technology that you use, like Windows, the WPF or WinForms or ASP.NET, create your reports in a class library, just reference it, and then you saw with just 2 lines I was able to bring the report in ASP.NET. Now pretty much that's what I had in mind for the slide and the demos. So let me, yeah, that's pretty much what I have. So now I'm going to be opening up myself to the Q&A. I'm going to start looking at the Q&A. It's already 4 o'clock. If you guys are okay, you can stay for 10 more minutes. We normally do this, like, I'll start answering one by one. We'll take 10 minutes to go through all the questions. I see, like, already my colleagues have already been answering a couple of them. So I'll try to go by the last, whatever is there. You're asking, is it, somebody is asking, Abhinandan, you're asking, is it possible to add search functionality in the report viewer? I'm not sure what you mean by search functionality, because as I said, the report viewer is mostly, I showcased the, let me go back to the vendor report that we had. So this is pretty much, a search. What you can see here is, you can make this as a string, and then user can enter it, and then you can say preview, and then you can pretty much get the, the search functionality. But the way this is working is, it's using the report parameters and report filters way of handling the things. Okay, Manish, you are asking for, Crystal Reports also has the same functionality. What is the advantage of going with Telerik reporting? I'm not sure if you saw this particular deck that I had shown. Let me come back to my slide. I'm not sure if Crystal Reports is able to do that. Can you create Crystal Reports in one assembly and then view it in WinForms, WebForms, Silverlight, and WPF? I'm not sure because I have not worked on Crystal Reports. So this is one area we pretty much say, like, it saves you a lot of effort. It saves you a lot of things in terms of your investment, because you can pretty much write once, run any platforms in .NET. So that's what we give you. Okay, yeah, somebody is asking, can we create charts? Okay, in the interest of the time, I didn't have an extensive demo to showcase, but I'll show you our reporting demos that we have. So here is when you download reporting, so we will give you a demo of pretty much all the WPF or ASP.NET or Windows Forms or a Silverlight demo. So this is a WPF demo I'm running. You can see this is actually a quarterly sales dashboard for management. So not only that, we have a drop down which showcases different values here. If you see here, it's showing the on the top I have a drop down which is sales for the year, so I can pretty much go now and then say, okay, show me for 2003. The data will pretty much completely change for the 2003, and then it will generate the report because it's working on a report parameter. Purvi Vani, you are asking a very specific questions for the reporting. I would suggest if you have a license, open up a support ticket, or feel free to write back to us, sales, or I'll show my email ID. You can either write to my email or where did my slide deck go? You can write to my email ID, or you can write to basically sales at Telerik, or any of these. You can just send it to me. We can take a look at it. But yeah, I would say if you are a licensed user, go ahead, make use of the support ticket. We have unlimited supports for you. So log a ticket, they will be able to help you out. Samba Sivarao, you're saying, do we have an option to apply parameter on the report rendered into local system? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Once you take a printout or once you export it, there's no way you can do anything with that because it's a PDF or a Excel. So in Excel, yes, you may be able to do something on your own, but not in the PDF. Manoj, you're asking, can you pass the path of the recording this session? Yeah, we are currently recording it, so we're going to be producing this and then converting this into a YouTube video, and then as I said in the beginning, keep lookout for www.telerikhelper.net. That's where we'll write a recap blog post. So that's where you can get the slide deck that I've done used for this webinar, and then also the recording of this webinar. And there are a bunch of questions that are coming up, so I will pretty much put a Q&A section also in the blog post. Samba Sivarao, no, I don't know. Within the PDF, you cannot do anything. If you want to do something, you would have to write your own export mechanisms. Like, I'm not sure if PDF can support that, or even Excel can support it, but you would have to write a lot of code for that. Okay, there was one question where how is it different from SSRS. So this is how I'll tell you the analogy that I can give. Like, if somebody comes back to you and says, hey, I just want this particular report, this what you see is like you don't need a heavy investment in terms of if you had to just, I did a product list report, right? So let me go back to that. So as you can see here, I just did a product list report. So this product list report, if you see, you don't need any heavy investment here. If you have a commercial project and then if they say, okay, we need a reporting solution, should you go for SSRS? It depends on a variety of factors. If the customer is looking for, end user to come in, click a button, just download the report, I don't think you should be investing heavily on the SSRS. Rather, take for example, our reporting solution, which is just two DLLs. The dependency is just two DLLs. One is Telerik.reporting.dll, and then another one is Telerik.reporting.webforms.dll, because we have a different viewers for different. So if it is WPF, you will have Telerik.reporting.wpf viewer.dll. So only two DLLs. It's a bin deployment, and that's it. You don't have any other investment or any other dependency in terms of the third party, any other software. So this is how you can pretty much save cost in terms of with SSRS. You need a reporting server. You need that investment for the reporting server. If you had to just generate this product or vendor report like this, an admin side, and admin site uses generate the report once in a blue moon. I don't know why somebody should go in for SSRS. So that's the main difference that I see in terms of our solution and then maybe SSRS, or any other solution for that matter. So it's 4:10. Maybe we'll take maybe 5 more minutes and then we'll try to wrap up. So Alpesh, you're asking, can we directly print reports without preview? Absolutely. There is you can see here, there is a report button here. I'm just now showing you a screen. You see this printer button. You can just click on that. It will invoke the printer dialog, and then the printer dialog is the OS dialog. So, and then you can pretty much select what printer you want, and then it will directly print it to that. Yes, you can do the direct print without preview. That's what I've been saying recently. After export, can we send the report through mail? Absolutely. When you do an export, it goes and sits on your desktop. You pretty much zip it up or put it into your mail and then send it to anybody. Print preview loading window. So let's take a look at it. So I'm going to be clicking on print preview now. Take a look at it, what's happening. So can you see that? It said generating report. So that's pretty much in a loading thing. So yes, we do support that. Kannan Tangamani, you are asking, can we dynamically change the database while the report runs? Yes, absolutely. You in that case, what you should do is do not give the data source directly. Instead, in the code behind, that is, let me showcase you this. If I go to the code of this particular report, so we have view code. So this is the code. So here, what you can do is pretty much you can say like this dot data source is equal to any data source that you want to give. So this is how you can pretty much control at runtime what you want to go and then do it. There is also another property that we have. That property is known as needs data source. So I'll show you this. There is an event, and that event is needs data source. So each report will actually fire this particular event known as need data source. So at this point of time, what you can do is you can pretty much do a couple of things like based on your logics and then based on your analogy, based on your business rules, you can actually go execute different data sources and then get the data and then feed it. So all it needs is a data source. You're asking for how can we map image path from our website into report for reporting section. So basically, when you create a image column, you can actually write a what do you call expression, and then you can try giving the link in such a way that maybe your database is or anything. You can pretty much do that. But I'm not sure if once it's downloaded, it's gonna maintain that image or not. These are all charts. This gets generated as image from our side, and what you saw on a product listing was the image was stored as a binary. So that is how it was able to give it. But give it a try. You just have to use the expression on a column and then format your you can pretty much append your strings and then do whatever you want to do. Rushikesh, I already showed you that when I clicked on print report, you saw that there was a generating report coming up. So that's the loading thing that you're talking about. Yeah, you're Raj Deepak, you're asking for interactive report or chart possible with Telerik. Yes, we do have drill downs, we do have sub report, but it's just the interest of the time. I couldn't do that. Maybe we'll come back with a separate webinar which focuses completely on the drill down or a sub reporting scenario. We'll do that maybe in the future. Yes, Sulabh, you're asking for is it compatible? Yes, we are compatible with the Excel 2010 and all those stuff. Mutamil Selvan, column auto resize based on data. Yes, it can do that. We do have image. Let me show you that. If you look at the toolbox, we do have picture box. So are the HTML things. So you can pretty much use that to show the image. No, I'm just trying to showcase this is a WPF window, but the report viewer can be run anywhere. Basically we have a report viewer for web. I'm just showing, somebody asked me about charts and all the stuff. So this is a report. I can pretty much run even the web also, but my web server has to be started, but this is easier. I just click on the exe. So you see that, but there's no change in what the report you see. Like, this is now showing on a WPF. We'll show it on the web too. Uh, Yes, web form also we do have the loading thing. So basically, okay, let me run it. I think now I get your question. So let me run this print preview thing. So it's already 4:15. We value your time. We respect your time. So if some of you want to drop out, please do so. I will be here for maybe another 2-3 minutes so that you guys can log all your questions. We'll save the question and answer panel, and then so that we'll pretty much write back, take a look at it, and then write an answer for that in the blog post. So go ahead, keep logging your question. I'll give you 3 more minutes. It's 4:16 by my watch. So by 4:20 I'll wrap up the webinar. So once again, thank you very much for everybody attending this webinar. We hope it was useful. We hope you saw something new in this one. I know there is a lot of questions, so you can always write back to us. We have already given you the coordinates. You can always go to telerikhelper.net, www.telerikhelper.net, and then you can write to any of us. My name is Lohit. I have Dhananjay, who is my colleague, and then Abhishek Kant, who is our country manager. So this is my email ID that I'm flashing on the screen. So go ahead, log all your questions. We'll try to wrap up the webinar in another 4 minutes. It's 4:16 by my watch, so I'll wrap it up by 4:20. So go ahead, keep on logging your question. Sunil Goel, yes, you can export from it. I'm not understanding your question. Can we export report from WCF service? There's no, I don't know how you can export from a WCF service. Basically, you have report viewer. Report viewer will be able to export it into a format like Excel or anything. You can actually use a WCF service. Like, for example, in Silverlight scenario, the Silverlight UI runs on a client side. So what you will do is you'll create a WCF service. We have a very specific service. We already have bundled it in telerik.reporting.dll. So all you need to do is create a SVC file, and that SVC file will be able to communicate with the report viewer on the client side, and then the client will say, I want this report. It will be able to plumb the report to the viewer. So that's how you use it. Again, Purvi Vani, you're asking very specific questions. I highly request you to please, if you're a licensed user, please go ahead and then use the support tickets, or you can write back to me. We'll take it up, because this is slightly going out of context with the webinar what we are doing, because I know you have a very specific scenario. So please write back to us. We'll try to see. As I said, if you're already licensed, please use the support ticket mechanism. A dedicated support engineer will be allocated to you, your ticket. He will be able to guide you, from start to finish. Mangesh, you're saying, can we use multiple data sets in one report? Yes, that's what I just did. Basically, I created 2 data sources, one for the actual body, another one for the parameter drop down. So you can create, basically, in your terms, it's a data set. For me, it's a data source. So I just created 2 data sources. Text boxes used in the Telerik, is it because? Rushikesh, I just did that. I don't know if you noticed it or not. So I'm currently in the print preview. So let me go out of print preview. Keep watching my screen now. I'm going out of print preview now. So this is the normal mode. I will click on print preview now. You will see that it will show a loading icon, generating report icon. So that's what you're looking for. So we have it. Alpesh, as I said, I've already answered you. Yes, you can print pretty much directly without opening a preview. You see this print button here. So keep looking at my screen now. I'm showing you the report viewer with a print icon. So if you click on this print icon, it will launch the OS printer dialog. So you just select what printer it's connected, and then it will print it there. Rishikesh, I don't understand what you mean by, do you have a loading window when you click on print button? When you click on print button, there is no loading button because it will launch the printer OS dialog. So it's going and then asking the the OS. So there's no loading dialog that you need because you're now going and then asking the OS like, hey, here's the data. I want you to go launch the printer. So that's what it did. It launches the printing print dialog. Yeah, I think some of you are asking for a lot of So let me see if I have that example. Basically, there is a drill down example that we have. Okay, let me check this product catalog. Well, this doesn't. Yeah, one more thing we support is like book the report booking book kind of or bookmarks kind of things. Like as you can see on the left hand side, I have product catalog. There is a category called accessories that contains bottles and gauges, and that has a road bottle gauge, and then water bottle. So you will see like the right hand side, the data just keeps changing. So that's one way of doing the report booking, and then we do have somebody was asking for charts, so we do have employee sales summary. So yeah, this is the amount of charting that you can do. As you can see here, we have the table, we have this, we do have this, I can just change it for a particular employee, and then somebody was asking for, can we get a calendar? So as you can see, if your report parameter type is a date, we'll automatically give you the calendar, and then you can pretty much see how it's happening. And let me see if we have report book. So this is another thing, like yeah, we do support crosstab, we do support sub reports, everything. So as you can see here, this is a report book thing. Dashboard, I can go to the dashboard, then I can go to the product sales, then I can actually go and then look at, let's say, light headlights, how are they doing it. So this is a report book, this is completely having multiple reports, but on the left hand side you kind of get a booking. Okay, so it's 4:20. So I thank each one of you for spending some time. I know we are really 20 minutes overboard with the stipulated time. So thank you very much. We respect your time, and we are overwhelmed with all the questions that you've been asking. So it will take us some time for us to collate all the questions and then provide answer for them, and then write the webinar recap blog post. So we will be putting it pretty much next week by Monday or Tuesday. So keep a lookout for a blog post on telerikhelper.net. Who knows, you may be the winner of the Telerik.net Ninja t-shirt, so keep a lookout for that. Thank you very much once again, and then I thank Dhananjay and Abhishek for being there as a standby and taking all the questions. So thank you guys. So thanks to one and all. So our next webinar will be coming up next week. So do make sure to be there and try your luck for the .NET Ninja t-shirt. So who knows, you may be the next one to win it. So thank you very much and have a good evening. Thank you.